Slovenia has it all. Let's find out what it is exactly. I'm Lex Universe, and this is everything you need to know about Slovenia.
Hello Internet, welcome to Lex Universe. So, we're back in Europe. As you may have noticed from the name of this video, today we're talking about Slovenia. Not to be confused with Slovakia, even though they have ridiculously similar flags. And the name. And language. Come on, guys. Get a better aim. And without further ado, let's explore this amazing country. So let's start with the basics. Slovenia is located in Europe, is the northernmost of the former Yugoslav republics. You can find it in the northern region of the Adriatic Sea, where it has a short coastline. It borders with Austria to the north, Italy to the west, Hungary to the east, and Croatia to the southeast and the south. When you look at the map of Slovenia, you will actually see a chicken. Have you ever noticed that? Well, now you cannot unsee it. The official language of Slovenia is Slovene. It's Slovene, not Slovenian. You didn't know that, right? I didn't either. The official currency is Euro, like in most of the European Union. The language is actually very similar to Croatian and Serbian, and it's usually kind of mutually intelligible. From what I heard, Slovenes understand Croatians and Serbs better than the other ways around. They use the Type-C plug outlet and drive on the right side. No. Slovenia is kind of a small country, but to me, one of the most amazing things about this country is it has it all. Yeah, you can find there the Julian Alps, which is like a part of the larger mountain range of the Alps. You've heard of them, right? Then you can find there the coastline, which has this Mediterranean vibe. And then you can find the surroundings of the capital of Ljubljana and the second most populous city, Maribor, which kind of reminiscent of Central Europe. And then to the east you can find the large plains that kind of reminiscent of Hungary. And you can transpass the whole country in like 2 hours. So that's kind of cool. Now if you plan going to Slovenia, what do you actually have to do? Well, not much. If you're from the European Union or the Schengen area, you just don't have to even cross any border crossing and you're in Slovenia. You will probably not even notice that you're there. If you are from outside the European Union, you will have to get the so-called Schengen visa, which is valid for all the Schengen countries. And in case you don't know anything about the Schengen area, you can check out my video about it in the upper right corner. Now getting to Slovenia. It has basically one international airport, like there is one small airport in Maribor, but I will not talk about it because I don't think there are any regular flights there and I'm not even sure if it's paved. But if you're flying to Slovenia, your go-to will be Ljubljana International Airport. Probably the most interesting deal that you can get is EasyJet, which flies to London. Saying that, to be honest, Ljubljana Airport is not that well served, and it is possible that you will find much better deals from the airports around, which are Pula in Croatia, which has many flights by Ryanair, and then Trieste in Italy, which also has some Ryanair and Wizz Air flights, and then you can also find the international airports in Klagenfurt or Graz in Austria. There could be also some interesting deals from Zagreb, which is like 2.5 hours from Ljubljana. Now, if you arrive at the Ljubljana International Airport, there is only one terminal, so you cannot get lost. They're actually planning to expand it, and it should be in this expanded form in 2021. God knows what will happen after this year, because this year was a complete clusterfuck. So if you arrive at the Ljubljana airport and you want to get to the city center, you have several options. But basically the cheapest way is to get a bus. It costs €4 and it will take you directly to the city center. You can buy the ticket directly from the driver, so no hassle there. Well, saying that, unless you're from the United Kingdom, probably any kind of transportation other than flying will be more suitable for you. So let's take a look at that. So let's start with the buses. There are international buses to all major capitals around Slovenia and also some other cities. You will probably need to use bus if you're traveling to Italy, because there's no reliable train connection. There are direct buses from Trieste to Ljubljana, and also several times a day you can take regional buses from Trieste to Piran. Now, speaking of trains, there are several classes of trains. You can buy Intercity Slovenia, Intercity, Eurocity and stuff like that. Most of these high-speed trains have surcharge, so you will have to pay like €1.5 more, but they're much more comfortable, much faster, and they usually have other services like Wi-Fi or plug outlets in the cars. Really cool, especially when you think about how railways look in the Balkans. But on the other hand, I don't think Slovenia is considered as part of the Balkans, so in case you're from Slovenia, I'm really sorry if I just offended you. You can share your hate in the comments below. There are direct trains from Vienna or Villach in Austria. There are also direct trains from Zagreb and from Budapest. Also, if you want to travel to Italy or from Italy, there are some regular ferries from Venice to Piran. So that could also be useful, but I guess it's quite expensive, so if you are poor like me, then it's not an option for you. Another possibility how you can get to Slovenia is by car. That's fairly simple, you just drive. Just keep in mind that if you're traveling from Austria, you will have to use one of these tunnels under the Alps, and most of them will require you to pay some fee. Now, speaking of transportation, let's talk a little bit about the transportation within Slovenia. Now, Slovenia has over 600 kilometers of highways, and they are paid for. So in case you want to go to Slovenia and you want to travel by car, you will need the so-called vignette. It's called vigneta in Slovenian, so cool, speak Slovenian, right? They sell this in several types. You can buy the 7-day pass, monthly or annual pass. In case you fly into Slovenia and then you want to use a car, there are many car rental offices directly at the airport. Now, another kind of useful way how to get around in Slovenia is to use a train. When you take a look at the railway network of Slovenia, you will realize that basically it's radiant from Ljubljana. What it means is that if you want to travel from some kind of faraway places, you will probably need to transfer in Ljubljana. And that's kind of inconvenient, but on the other hand, there is only one railway station, so you cannot get lost. Like generally, the rule is the faster the train, the more expensive it gets. Also, traveling by train is not exactly cheap in Slovenia, but on the other hand, good advice here: if you want to travel in Slovenia by train, you should buy a ticket online and you should buy it in advance. So for any tourists here, the Slovene Railways also offers this tourist pass or tourist weekend offer, which means that if you buy a return ticket during the weekend or during the national holiday, you will have the 30% discount on it, which is kind of cool. Another possibility how to get around in Slovenia is by bus. This is usually served in the places where you cannot get by train. Now let's talk dining. From my experience, all the food and all the meals in Slovenia are extremely heavy, extremely meaty and plain, and in case you're trying for a healthy diet, just pick another country whatsoever. They're like using the pork grease for everything, and it's nothing for me anyway. But in case this is the kind of cuisine that you like, this is for you. The Slovene cuisine has actually kind of been influenced by its neighboring countries, so basically like the cuisine in the north of the country is very similar to the one that you will find in Austria or in Bavaria. If you're in Slovenia, their like most popular national dish is krenska klobasa, which is like the sausage, also extremely greasy, extremely meaty. I'm having a stroke just thinking about it, so in case this is something that you really like, you should get it. And when we're talking about drinking, I guess the most popular alcoholic drink in Slovenia is beer. They have two most popular brands, that's the Laško and Union. For me, Union is the total winner. I love the beer. Also, the kind of popular alcoholic drink is this little schnapps called Borovnička, and it's kind of tasty and it can get you drunk really quickly, so in case that's your goal, then go for Borovnička. And now, while you're in Slovenia, what can you actually do and see there? Like I said, Slovenia has it all. For the purpose of this video, I have divided Slovenia into 3 regions, and that's the Alps, or the Julian Alps, the northern part of the country. Then that's the coastal region. It's kind of small. The coastline is really short, but it has its atmosphere, and it's completely different from the north of the country. And then there's kind of the rest of the country, where you can find the capital of Ljubljana and other things. So let's start with the most popular region, and that must be probably the northern region, the Julian Alps. Over there you will find the Triglav National Park. It's called that after the highest mountain in Slovenia, Triglav, which is like 2,800 meters above sea level. Kind of cool. You can climb up if you are fit and appropriately dressed. Apart from Triglav, there are other amazing natural features in the Triglav National Park. Probably the most famous one, and what I believe is like the tourist attraction numero uno in Slovenia, that's the Bled Lake. First, there is the Bled Castle, really nice medieval fortress on the top of a cliff. Then the Bled Lake itself, where you can actually get this nice boat trip on the so-called Bledna. That's the name of the boat that ferries the waters of the Bled Lake. It's kind of a cultural heritage of Slovenia. It's really cool. In case you have a chance, you should do that. It's a little bit pricier because it's like the main tourist attraction there, but if you have a chance, just do it. And also you will need these boats if you want to get to the third attraction in the Bled area, and that's the Bled Island. If you have ever seen any picture of Slovenia, and you can also see it on the thumbnail of this video, that's this island. It's so picturesque, so beautiful. You can find a church there on the top of this island, and like all the Julian Alps surrounding the lake. It's so beautiful, so picturesque, cute, amazing. So if you want to go to the island, you will have to board one of these Bledna boats and go across the lake. Now, another natural features in the Triglav National Park is the Bohinj Lake, and this one is, at least to me, even more beautiful than the Bled Lake. There is no famous island with a church there, but you get the look of this amazing nature of the Julian Alps in Slovenia. It's so beautiful. If you see a cow going on the road, she can go first. If you want to get to the Triglav National Park, there are direct trains and buses from Ljubljana to Bled. The bus travels about like 75 minutes and it takes you directly to the town of Bled, while the train is a little bit quicker. Just keep in mind that the train station is like 4 kilometers from the town, so you will have to walk or get another bus or taxi to get to the lake actually, so suit yourself. Also, since like the most iconic tourist attraction in Slovenia, there are direct shuttles directly to the Ljubljana airport, in case you don't want to see anything else from Slovenia. But if you are that kind of a person, then you're missing out so much. So we are moving towards the coast, but let's make one more stop on the way, because that's, at least to me, the most amazing thing you can see in Slovenia, maybe in Europe, because guys, I'm not really easily impressed. You may have noticed that. But this thing, there are 2 caves kind of nearby to each other. It's the Postojna cave and the Škocjanska cave. And while the Postojna cave is the most popular one, I would really recommend you to go to the Škocjanska cave, because that is enormous. I don't know if you have seen like the Lord of the Rings and or Hobbit, and if you watch that, then you get the feel how this enormous underground space looks like. It's so amazing, it's so big, and guys, it's so amazing, really. If you have no time at all for anything else, go to Škocianska cave. That was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in Slovenia. Just one tip before you go there: get a raincoat. And honestly, that's like one thing that I would probably say about the whole of Slovenia. I don't know what it is with Slovenia and rain, but every time I'm in there, it's like super raining all the time. And then actually once I crossed the border to Trieste and it stopped raining, I spent some time in the Italian coastal town, and then I returned back to Slovenia and started raining again. So either Slovenia really enjoys rain, or Slovenia hates me, or some other person hates me, or someone hates Slovenia, or it's a lot of hate. Good. So, Škocianska cave and raincoat. Now let's get to the second region of my video, and that's the coastal region. Over there, probably your main hub will be the coastal town of Piran. It's this really beautiful Italian-like town on the coast of the Adriatic Sea. This is actually a town that houses the largest Italian minority in Slovenia. It also has an Italian name, Pirano. How original, right? You have to park your car somewhere at the outskirts of the city because you cannot drive into the historical city center. You can go for a swim. There's like this waterfront where you can climb up the ladder to the water and swim around. What can you do in Piran? Apart from swimming, of course. You can get a boat trip. There's kind of a nice lighthouse. Also, Piran is perfect for watching the sunset, as it's on the western coast. If you want to have a special experience, you can climb up the city walls or get to the church above the town, and you can watch the sunset from there. It's so amazing. And also, if the sun is currently not setting, it provides you with great views of the whole coastal town and the sea, and it's really beautiful. And now we are getting to the capital of Slovenia, Ljubljana. First of all, it's really difficult to pronounce. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but I have heard much worse pronunciations, so give me credit for that at least. And I also apologize to everyone in Slovenia for butchering your language. I'm really sorry. You can do the same. You can try to pronounce something Czech. There's quite reliable public transportation in Ljubljana. There are city buses that will take you all around the city. The historical city center is kind of compact and small, so you can walk there, and you can get a taxi. Uber is actually not allowed in Slovenia, so in case you're usually reliant on any of these alternative services, you're out of luck here. Now, what can you actually see in Ljubljana? Probably the most iconic place in Ljubljana is the Triple Bridge, which is, well, there are 3 bridges that are very close to each other, and it's very cool. But also, like, the whole waterfront that's been created by probably the most famous Slovenian architect, Jože Plečnik. You can also visit his house and his museum, and basically half of the city is named after Jože Plečnik. He's probably the most famous person coming from Slovenia, except for Melania Trump. You know what is one thing that Slovenes and Czechs have in common actually? We have both perused one wife for Donald Trump. So for some reason Donald Trump has a thing for Slavic women. Kind of strange, especially coming from him, right? Another tourist attraction in Ljubljana is the Tripple Castle, which you can find about the city. Another kind of nice thing that you can visit is the Dragon Bridge. It's not really far from the Triple Bridge. It's across the same river, and it's really cool. The riverside has been also created by Jože Plečnik, and every now and then you can find their Ljubljana open market. There are also some flea markets there on Sundays and Saturdays. You can find some whatever old crap you want to buy. Really cool place. Actually, I'm like, I really like these things, but I guess most people don't. To me, my most favorite place in the whole of Ljubljana is the so-called Metelkova Mesto, or Metelkova City. It's like this self-proclaimed autonomous artist zone. It's been created in these old military barracks, and now you can find there like 6 clubs, some nightclubs, bars, galleries. It's like this amazing alternative underground hipster place. So if you really want to see some of the nightlife in Ljubljana, but also the day life, or just basically life, I would really recommend you to go there. There is a train station not far away from there, and to me it's really amazing. You can find there like topics with pro-LGBT or refugee welcome, and at the same time there is like the giant portrait of Josip Broz Tito, which, in case you didn't know, that was the first president of Yugoslavia and kind of a communist, but he came from Slovenia, so that's why they're so proud of him. But anyway, it's like this amazing alternative place where people of various cultures and various opinions can meet, get a beer, have some fun, and enjoy the great atmosphere of the place. I cannot recommend it enough. It's really cool. I love it. Another popular tourist attraction in Slovenia is the Predjama Castle. It's not that far from Ljubljana. You can visit it on your way to these 2 caves. It's really beautiful. I'm sure you have ever seen this. It's like this castle built within the rock wall. So cool. And that would be Slovenia. I hope you found this guide interesting. I tried to cover everything that I think is interesting about Slovenia. Of course, I couldn't grasp absolutely everything because it's the whole country and I could talk about it for hours and hours and you will get super bored really quickly. So I believe I covered the basics in case you want to visit Slovenia for a couple of days. I can really recommend you to not stay in Ljubljana, although like I said, one of my most popular places in Slovenia is in Ljubljana. There are others that are so amazing. There are probably not so many historical sites in Slovenia, but the nature is absolutely stunning. And really, if you want to see the Alps from a little bit cheaper way than in Italy or in Austria, then go to Slovenia. And also, like, the Julian Alps are a little bit different from what you may see in like Western Austria or Northern Italy. They are not that high, but the whole nature there is so amazing. I really love it. And if you want to make nice pictures, then the surroundings of the Bled and Bohinj Lake are so beautiful, really. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for going with me. And next time we're traveling to Israel. And until that time, if you like this video, please give me a like, subscribe to my channel, check out my other social media, check out the previous videos from the series in case you're interested in some travel tips for Bangkok or Istanbul, and see you in the next video. Have a beautiful day.